You mentioned something interesting about exercise earlier. The conventional thought is eat less, exercise more, you burn more calories, you lose weight. What's your thought on exercise?
I think that those two platitudes are like trying to solve the Middle Eastern crisis that's been going on for since I don't know how long, by saying everyone should love their brother. Well, yes, that's true. That doesn't make for great subtlety in diplomatic policy and negotiations. It's simplistic to the point of being idiotic. We're not fat because we eat too much and exercise too little. We're fat for a variety of reasons that involve hormones and metabolism. You talk to the best obesity researchers in the world, and they'll tell you that the more they study it, the more it's mystifying and baffling. We now know that what your grandmother ate affects the size of your fat cells. We now know that the fetal environment affects it. There's this really interesting study, people don't know about this, the Dutch famine study. During World War II, there was a period in Holland when they had to ration calories. And people got between 400 and 800 calories a day. Starvation is less than the concentration camps. When they traced the babies that were in utero during that period, in other words, women who were pregnant during that period, and they looked years later, the babies born to mothers during the Dutch winter were double-digit more likely to have metabolic syndrome, obesity, and diabetes. That's the effect of the fetal environment. The fetus learned, it's a tough world out there. Ain't no food coming in. Anything that comes in, I better store it. You give that kid water and he gets fat. So obesity is not just about eating less. Yeah, sure, there's some people who just eat too much. No question about it. But I'm very passionate about, it's sort of the last acceptable prejudice in America that people can still look at fat people and go, oh, you're slovenly and gluttony. It's really more complicated than that. And I forgot I think you asked me about exercise.
Exercise, yeah. And why you said that's not such a...
Because the studies are very depressing when it comes to exercise and weight loss. Tiny amounts of weight are lost with enormous amounts of exercise. And from time to time you read these studies where they figured if you do an hour and 10 minutes a day, 6 days a week, you might lose a couple, it's just not the most efficient way to lose it. A number of things happen. Number one, we don't burn as many calories during exercise as we think we do. Certainly not what those machines at the gym tell us, which have a vested interest, folks, in telling you that you just burned 900 calories walking 5 minutes. That's one thing. There's some troubling evidence that we get hungrier after we exercise, and that people give themselves permission. Oh, just exercise.
Sure.
I don't have that one of those lattes from Starbucks. What can that do? 900 calories of sugar. So there's some disturbing evidence that it by itself. Trainers. I came from the personal training world. We have a saying. It's great. You can't out-train a bad diet. You're eating 7 times a week at McDonald's. I don't care. Unless you're Michael Phelps and you're burning up 10,000 calories a day in the pool, dude, you are not going to you can't fight that a diet with 20 minutes of walking 3 times a week. Now, you can benefit your heart, your brain, 100 other metabolic parameters. And paradoxically, you can't keep weight off without exercise. When they look at the National Weight Control Registry, the people who have successfully kept large amounts of weight off for many years, they all exercise. It may not be the best way to lose it. It's the best way to keep it off.